Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are out at Saturn today, once again, rejoining our Wanderer Alpha, as it has, well, it's about 10 hours away from making its orbital insertion burn into Saturn's orbit. Let's just pop out here to the map view real quick and take a look. We're going to shoot for this highly eccentric orbit, because it puts our ascending node with any of the moons of Saturn at a very high altitude, so it'll be very easy to make that correction. This burn's going to cost about 1.1 kilometers per second. We've got 2.3 kilometers per second left in the tank, so that should be more than enough to make this plane change, and then get it set up to complete the rest of its mission, which is, of course, flybys of any of Saturn's moons. Apetus. I mean, really, Titan we don't have to shoot for because we've been there already. We've got something in orbit around Titan and something on the ground at Titan. But Reyes, Mimas, Encladius, Ethius, Dione. These are our objectives, and we're going to try to get some flyby data from all of these at various points. But yeah, I guess it's time to go ahead and get ourselves around to this burn. So we're just gonna time warp a bit until we're actually, before I go any further, let's make sure the tank is unlocked. Good. 2, make sure the engine is active. It is. Good. We shouldn't really need to do anything else. We're actually going to hang on to this transfer stage for a while now, and I think the problem we were having is this dish is not transmitting data at all. I don't know. Let's log an irradiance scan here and just kind of see what happens. That'll take quite a while to get there, I'm sure. Remote tech queued actions isn't showing my total time delay. 96 science. Please, please, please give us credit. Let's bring up our things here. Transmit. Oh, good. It's going to take forever. Well, I guess the other problem with this ditch is the bitrate on it is absolutely terrible. My goodness. Might as well keep moving along to our destination then while we're waiting for all of this to happen. And now I'm just a little paranoid that we're going to be behind the planet. We will be performing this burn well into Saturn's shadow. So maybe we'll just let this data upload and then see what happens from there. Awesome. Nothing transmitted. Nothing gained. So there's that. This makes me so angry. Yeah, and let's... Yeah, I don't think any of our other spacecraft here are in range. I was hoping we'd be able to bounce a signal off of something. Like if maybe we powered down the dish, if we were in range of any of these other probes that have viable communication back to Earth, that maybe we could kind of goof the system that way. But I don't think that's a thing. We do have that ship on Titan. Alright, you know what? I'm going to take a quick save. Yeah, we're not going to be by that way in quite a while. So you know what? I am going to... Never mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the experiments again. I'm going to... I can't put anything in this... Oh, but I can put it down here in the Ranger Block 3 core. And yeah, I've already got some stored data in there. Excellent. So I'm going to run a radio in. It's going to take an hour and a half to get there, and I'm just not going to transmit stuff home. I'm going to store it in the core. And then when we get these sciencey things figured out, or at least when we establish a better connection, we'll just radio it all in as a big mass group of stuff. Oh, there's so many missions where this is a huge problem. This might take some unorthodox fixing of things. Alright, anything we've already run we can just discard. We're not going to get any data for doing that one, so we'll set that. There we multispectral scan we can keep. Radiant scan we will keep. Atmospheric pressure, micrometeorite, Geiger, temperature. Biological sample we can reset, 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 reset. Why does this one give us 4 science for transmitting it back? I guess that's the different one. Yeah, because we brought those. No, 4. Oh, I did bring 2 of these. Interesting. So they are a different experiment. Well, that's nice to know. Keep one, reset the other. Wonder if that is both of them then? Let's just double check here. Science. What's in the Ranger Block 2 core? Ah, this is not the way to go about it. Okay. Well, it's obviously different than that one, so... Transfer... Transfer... Oh, we got. Cool. Alright. So, let's get right on into this orbital insertion. There's a view. Yeah, let me slow down time warp here and just... Man. Awesome. Yeah, that was not the key I meant to hit. This is the key I meant to hit. Alright, we've got 30 some odd minutes. I'm probably going to give us about 5 minutes of lead time. Here it is, 5 minutes. Alright. Get ourselves oriented appropriately. That should be enough to ullage in our AJ10. Angle into the node. No ignitions remaining. No, no, no. Oh, no. How did I screw that up? When did we use all these? Oh, boy. That is a problem. I did not realize this was not a 118K. Oh, so dumb. Well, this mission just got a little, interesting. So I've done you all the very great favor of speeding this up a whole lot in post. And who wants to guess how long it took me to figure out that I could just hit the Z key and peg the throttle to full instead of just literally sitting here staring at the screen with my finger on the H key like an idiot? Yeah. I mean, the scenery was really, really nice, and I did some fuel management, which I'm really good at, by the way. But here's old me to round it out. Well, we are captured into orbit, and for right now, that's pretty much all that matters. Although it is a highly eccentric orbit, and we will not have our next maneuver for another 67 days. Wow, excuse me. But I think we still can correct for this inclination. But the bigger problem right now is our electric charge. Since I have not shut down any avionics cores, we are a little drainy on our batteries, so to speak. So let's just plot this out. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, it looks like we can have a first pass encounter. We play our cards right. That's pretty cool. Nope, other way. Bang. Awesome. And we will, of course, fine-tune that maneuver when we get to it. It's only 44.1 meters per second. I have no idea how much we have left in our transfer tank. This really murdered our fuel as far as what we have available to us. Now I can go ahead and leave that one open. I'm going to manually shut down some avionics. Now that we're clear of the planet, we are still draining battery at an alarming rate. That's not good. Oh, good. We have a connection now. Let's shut down avionics. Hopefully the command will get there before our battery runs out. Yeah, shut down avionics. Just to put those in a permanent shutdown, because this does not in fact shut down, but we have 2 RTGs down here. We've got 2 more on the main body of the spacecraft. So hopefully we'll be okay. Although I kind of doubt it at this particular moment. I kind of want to unrender the craft just to make sure it doesn't end up being useless, but I think if I leave it and then come back to it later, we might be okay. But for the time being, we're going to set up an alarm within Kerbal alarm clock. Under 80 days, add alarm. Thank you very much. Go away, Kerbal alarm clock. And oh boy, this mission just got a little more interesting, as if it wasn't enough problems that we can't get credited for any science that we radio in. Our engine is out of ignitions. And we are now having kind of a fuel crisis and a power crisis. I am very, very sorry for the lack of engineering that has gone into this spacecraft. I feel absolutely horrible about it. This was supposed to be a really good mission on a really well-built spacecraft that actually looks pretty cool. And I still managed to screw it all up. Anyway, we've got a few other things to get to this episode, so we'll get right into that. And well, here's the next thing. This is, of course, our Mars lab that is bound for Harmonia Station, which I probably need to set as a target. And, of course, this maneuver node was just there for a reference, but got all disconjumulated. Alright. Nope, that's us. What? Alright, well, let's focus on Mars, because I know we have a lot more there than what it's showing to me right now. There it is. Harmonia Station, set as target. So, we do need to make some adjustments to our approach. We don't yet actually have a connection. It means we can't really stage anything off, but we can do some RCS work. I do want to bring this down as much as possible and try to put that ascending node right on our periapsis, and our periapsis down pretty low. We are going to try to aerocapture. I'll get to explaining some of the other things that were going on here, but let me get this node set up first, and then we'll do the rest from there. Alright, that puts our periapsis about 34 kilometers, which hopefully will be enough to aerocapture us into an orbit, even if it is fairly eccentric, because we are quite heavy. This is a lot of tonnage. And the great experiment here was to see if we could bring some liquid hydrogen, which we can. Turns out boil-off does not occur when the vessel is not loaded. That's super useful. I'm going to do the honorable, noble thing here and not use this hydrolock stage, simply because it seems really disingenuous to do that, considering it doesn't have radiators or anything like that really for which to, I don't know, make this a thing, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Do I not have any fuel in the lab itself? I thought I did. Yep, there it is. Okay. But I do know that if I put radiators on a stage like this, I can use that and kind of justify my use of the liquid hydrogen many, many moons later. We do have an ignition left on this, which might prove very much more effective than what we're doing now. Please tell me. Okay, good. Feed pressure too low. Seriously? Oh no. Well then, we can't quite jettison this stage yet because we don't have any comms. What I can do, however, to speed this process along, I'm just going to continue to hold down the H key, is transfer some fuel down here, out, out. It'll take a while, but it'll get those thrusters running, because 80 meters per second is going to happen really, really, really quickly if we try to fire up that HG3 and use its last ignition. Our thrust-to-weight ratio on that engine is a 4.81, and we'll displace 2.6 kilometers per second in just under 2 minutes, which is well more than we need for this tiny correction, but it is going to take absolutely forever on the back of these RCS. I would like to jettison this HG3 stage into the atmosphere so that it can burn up and not create more debris that the game has to keep track of. Wow, you're being extra wobbly today. So I'm going to sit here with my finger on the H key and just try to get this done. I mean, really, we've got an hour till the node. We are making some progress, just, not a whole lot of it. So it would seem that the theme for today's episode is holding the H key, or doing on RCS what should be done on engines. But, I don't know. And this works out anyway. I'm not going to give you spoilers on the rest of it, but there's definitely a theme building, and it's very frustrating. Alright, our periapsis is at about 32 kilometers. We're going to move some fuel around, because that's just what I do. Oh, not that one. Maybe you? Yes. And you? In. That should take no time at all. And while we're doing our resource transfer thing, we're going to try to get as much weight to the front of this thing as we can, which will probably include emptying out that bottom tank mostly to get it much closer to the heat shield. We can try to keep some kind of balance here when we're doing our whole aerocapture maneuver. Okay, that wasn't that bad. Is there... Yeah, we got some room in these tanks too. Nope. How about you? Yep. Very good. You are not a tank, if I remember correctly. Yep. And you... Oh boy, the whole RCS thing is going to really just trip me up. Alright, that's about the best we can do. So now we're just going to time warp until we have an established connection, and hope for the best. Alright, connection established. Time to decouple. Yeah, battery's looking good. Tracked. 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 Just in case, activate engine. And hopefully that'll get us all set up for our capture. Alright, there's stage set. It's clean. And we're starting to get panel retractions. Excellent. Our electric charge is topped off, so hopefully that'll give us more than enough power to clear the atmosphere of the planet. Oh, dang it. I need to zero this out. We're probably going to have a sacrificial antenna here. We're going to need at least one of these to be active or available come docking time. Yeah, that's just node. We're not going to deal with that. So the one that we're turning off is the one that we will turn back on after we have come around the other side of the planet, also when we will deploy our solar panels. So once again, into the time warps. Whoa. Stage flew away quickly. I did not expect that to happen, but alright. Alright, now in 2 hours and 10 mic, we will activate. Come on. Activate, very good. Electric charge drain is looking good. Extend that panel. Extend that panel. Good enough. Alright. Wow, did our stage just disappear on us? That's very interesting. Alright, well, there's the planet. Looks like we're... did not nudge us too far off. So here's hoping, right? Okay, time to get angled in. It was time to get angled in a while ago, but oh boy, I'm facing the wrongiest of wrong directions. Get into that prograde vector. Right, let's do this. We are below the 100-kilometer mark. Analyze telemetry. No connection to send command on. Perfect. Sorry, antenna. I probably could have saved you. Whoa. Oh, I think we're losing some struts. That is an interesting effect. Perfectly normal, I assure you. Alright, current altitude 34 kilometers, sea level 28 kilometers actual. Current speed 6.6 kilometers per second. Flight computer, you can go away. We're about halfway through our deceleration to hit a medium orbit. We can go beyond this, we'll just be in a lower orbit, and that is A-okay with me. We've started to climb. We're about 2/3 of the way through nominal deceleration. We have not yet reached capture. Oh boy, come on. Just at least capture. That's all I really need from you is the capture. How much angle can I introduce here? Try to push ourselves down into the atmosphere a little bit. There is a capture. Yes. 34 kilometers in climbing, so maybe I don't need to re-angle anything. I need to get out of the atmosphere now. That apoapsis is dropping nicely. Well, this is coming quite nicely. Huh. It's too bad the rest of the spacecraft is absolutely broken. I don't know. We can probably do a whole docking thing just on RCS. We can correct at Saturn on RCS. I'm sure even if this engine isn't going to work, feed pressure too low. God, I'm so stupid. I think we can handle it. Now 53 kilometers in climbing. Our current apoapsis is about 5.9 million meters. All in all, it's shaping up pretty well. We're about 102 meters per second of delta V off of our initial goal, which is probably the most accurate I've ever been on an aerocapture maneuver. Holy crap. I'm happy with it. This has all turned out quite well, I have to say. They can analyze telemetry just to put something in the lab right off the bat. Why not? All right, yeah, we're 74 kilometers now, so we're not going to get much more significant air braking. I think that extra 130 some odd meters per second left on our target node is just going to end up sitting that way. What I think I will do is pop out to the map and take a look at our result and everything. We do need to make a plane change maneuver at, oh wait, that's 138 past our goal. That was our goal. We're in closer. That's even better. 3.1 degrees off target. Also absolutely awesome. I should probably raise that apoapsis to something a little more on target, maybe. And that node for 93.1 meters per second is in 2 hours. I think before we get to that, we will ditch our heat shield. I would like to do the decouple thing. Fine, jettison heat shield, whatever. Oh, I'm still on a 2-hour time delay. Oh, it'll still happen before we get there, but I should probably set that back to 0. Oh, in 2 hours, it's going to run our analysis. That is even better. We'll hit physics warp for a little while, 125. We should be clear of the atmosphere. We are not. What is it? Yep, there we go. Alright, and there's panel deploy and antenna deploy. We actually... Did we lose that other antenna? We did. Good. Just making sure I'm not crazy. We have a connection reestablished. We'll go ahead and bring out our other panels because, you know, why not? Then panel. Hour 20 minutes until we will take a analyze telemetry and jettison our heat shield. 1 hour 12 minutes until we get our node. Never mind, we're going to have to go ahead and do this now. Why won't that be a thing? Oh, is that a tank that I just... Or are we playing the you can't click on me game? Yeah, I can't click on any of this stuff. Dang it. This'll be fun. Follow docking system. Let's try that. Decouple node. Boop. And away the heat shield goes. Now we have much tighter control and about 1 billion thrusters to do it with, so we'll just go ahead and get angled into this node now. We've got about 1 hour and 2 minutes before we get there. Alright, we're about 7 minutes out. I'm just going to go ahead and see if that engine will fire. Nothing doing. Yep. Feed pressure is too low. So I guess we're just going to act entirely on RCS, which is a bummer. But as soon as we can drain this tank out into any of our other tanks, I think we'll be alright. So I'll just bring up our 2 other active tanks and hit out, out, so we can keep moving the fuel forward. And the sooner we can get rid of that AJ-10, I think the better off we will be. But even under RCS power, it says that we can complete this node in 3 minutes or so. Oh, 4 minutes roughly, 3 minutes 48 seconds now, which I guess isn't that bad for 100 meter per second correction. The real fun one is going to be braking to match orbits with the station. Yeehaw. So we're exactly 0 for 2 on engines that will work in this episode, which is, oh, that might be a record. Anyway, this was just, again, press the Z key, balance fuel around, go walk around the house a little bit, do some dishes, take care of other miscellaneous things. Sometimes burns like this really aren't all that bad, especially from the, I don't know, from the pilot seat, because not a whole lot to do. Just admire the view and try to keep it focused on point in 4x physical time warp. All right, 0.0 meters per second. I'll take that. All right, so now we're just going to set up a maneuver node here. I know that we're a little below that orbit there, but the goal is really to just bring about the closest approach. Not bad. 37 kilometers. So how much can I bring down the orbit and get a closest approach? That looks like it's our best bet. Oh wait, it is 500 meters per second. That's going to take some doing. Alright, well, we've got it down to 14.3. We can make some fine-tuning because we're obviously going to have to make another braking pass to slow down. This maneuver's already 416 meters per second, which apparently will take 20 freaking minutes. Well, I guess this is going to be a sped episode. So, away we go. Yeah. Oh, telemetry analysis. We'll just keep that experiment for now. Why not? Oh, come on, what now? Oh, you're trying to jettison the heat shield again, aren't you? Good times. Good times. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Too fast, too fast. Oh, one more time warp, and then I can hit the Z key. And now we wait. So this is the big long burn that I've sped up a whole lot. But just to give you guys a little background on the frustration coming into this episode, once again, KSP decided to delete Harmonia Station for what reasons I can't even fathom. So I had to pick up an old save file from a backup, find Harmonia Station in the persistent file, or in that save file, and then copy it over to the persistent file to bring it back into this game. And this is about the third time I've had to do this, and it seems to be the only craft to which this happens at all. Is becoming a little frustrating, and I'm a little worried about what's going to happen if there's a crew on board and it just decides to randomly delete it again. But we'll cross those bridges when we come to it. I'm just going to do a lot better about keeping my backups. Anyway, okay. We were able to get that down to about 12 kilometers. I think a little touching up here, I can get it back into the 8 range. Let's see if any other adjustments I can make can bring this down. No, I think about 8 kilometers is where we're going to sit. Yep. Good enough. All right. Out. Out. Fantastic. So, you know, if you could just stop all that awkward thrustering. Perfect. Try that. And then we are also going to decouple this useless stage below us. We've gotten what fuel we can from it. Just top that off, and then time warp out for like the 9 or so whatever minutes it's going to take to ditch that thing. I'd kind of intended to deorbit it, but that burn was going so well I didn't want to pause it and then have to wait 5 minutes for this to happen. So it's just going to have to be some debris, and that is not, oh, that must be our 8-kilometer intersect. So let's come out here and see if we can't tune it a little. That's probably more like it. There we go, 0.3 kilometer. That's awesome. And that node will take place in 1 hour and 8 minutes, so let's just go ahead and get around to that. Ugh, such tedious. Such buttes. Wow. Alright, minute and a half out. We'll just go ahead and get ourselves turned around. It says it's going to take 28 seconds. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but it is only a 12.4 meter per second correction. So let's see how well this fares. We did lose a pair of fairly powerful thrusters, but we lost a core that we didn't need and some dead weight in an engine. So there's that. Not gonna lie, wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to the node on this one. Was really just relying a whole lot on the rendezvous planner window and monitoring that separation at closest approach figure, kind of toggling my thrusters to get that number dialed in. Okay, I think about 150 meters is pretty good, so let's just match velocities at closest approach. 315 meters per second. It says that burn will take 12 minutes. It takes place in 48. We're going to try to do it all in lead, which will throw off our docking approach a little bit, but at this point, I'm willing to do it. This is like the final step, thank goodness. We are almost done getting this thing bolted to our station, and that makes me very happy. Oh, overshot just a little. No big deal. Get spun around. Right there along the retrograde vector. That is awesome. Tap that Z key and let's get this thing underway. Right there on the node, if you could please, sir. And not target, maybe maneuver node. Can you be trusted to stay on that thing all on your own? I'm gonna go take the dogs out. So, again, as per usual, I have sped all of this up to a ridiculous amount. There we've got distant object enhancement showing us where exactly Harmonia Station is. We will try to keep our fuel nice and balanced. Be good at one thing. And again, I'm trying to do this based on the figure there in the separation at closest approach, seeing as how the burn is going to actually take a whole lot longer than when we thought it would. We're going to end up overshooting by quite a bit. That separation at closest approach does start to get away from me a little bit. I was trying to keep it dialed in, and honestly, I didn't even see at what point the station kind of flew past us. But yeah, now we've got that figure out to about 17 kilometers. At which point I just decided it was probably best to plot another node and try to get it dialed in after cooling down a little bit. But it turns out the best approach to doing this is just doing it as soon as possible. I'll plot the node almost right in front of us while I can. And try to get a good figure dialed in. And then just kind of start to shoot for it. All while watching that closest approach vector. Managing my fuel. Alright, well, I hope we've got it. We're going to be within 453 meters in about 20 minutes. It says that burn will take 47 seconds, and, well, hopefully. It's been wrong about absolutely everything else, so I don't know why it would be right here, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and start this burn about a minute away in hopes that we can avoid smashing things. No, 2 minutes, oh god. Render range. Render range! Okay. Minute 40 seconds it says. Should be... Oh, I don't know if we should... I mean, it's render range, so we should be able to see it by now, but it is nighttime. Aft and high. There it is. Fire up them thrusters. Alright, let's see if we just can't dial it in a bit. Perfect. Alright, let's zero this out and start to make our approach. Very good. Quick saving. So in 7 minutes we will be 120 meters out. Yep, time warpy thing is definitely a thing. So we're just going to let that happen. And hopefully long before we're actually at our closest approach, I'll pull us out of time warp and everything will be fine. I certainly won't materialize inside the space station or anything like that. This approach was actually fairly easy. This section of the station is not as heavy as it would seem. I mean, it's well under, I think it's under 15 tons at this point. But I just tried to line us up around the backside of the station, and then being careful only to operate on a single axis at a time, which is, I think, the trick to a good docking. Get ourselves close to the port, line it up a little bit, and here's Old Me to finish it out. Booyah. Docked! That's fantastic! Oh, this actually looks like a proper space station now. Woo! And I don't think I put a separate life support module on this. I did not. Just room for oxygen. We have this guppy over here that has a bunch of electric charge and some food and water that I certainly don't want to let go to waste, but I've got no place else literally to put it. Everything else on here, like all the food and water supplies, are all completely topped off, which is awesome, I guess. I don't know. What we can do is activate your CO2 scrubber. That'll take a million years to get there. But I think what we're going to do is I would like to get rid of this guppy, in all honesty. But I have no place to put the food. And that makes me a little sad. So really I wanted to put this thing over here, and then put the solar panels on one of its ports. But this is where we're at, and because I really like these two ports aren't very usable in their current location. I think we'll get to all this station construction-y things at some other time. This episode has certainly stretched on absolutely long enough. So that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Let's get this out into the sun so that we can take a good picture. There we go. Much, much better, if you ask me. Oh, that's quite nice, I have to say. Alright. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.